Hello, fellow human light beings. This is Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard. Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to continue sharing some truths about the Nagas and how to help people reconcile their instincts that there's some kind of reptilian higher force that is influencing our world that has something to do with being deceived into the third dimension. But as always, we need to first examine our assumptions, and we need to examine our thoughts and our feelings. And when we do, we can find out the truth. And when you find out the truth, you can awaken. So I'm going to help you understand how the Nagas awaken through deception, and how by awakening from that deception, you can escape the reptilian 3D hypnosis. And all of that is associated with all that good stuff. All right, so welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be playing again for you another video. I played one yesterday, but about 6 years ago, I was trying to help people understand, because so many people were coming on the channel and were so afraid of reptilians and all of this. And of course, this was a long time ago. It was long before I was having the level of interactions that I'm having now with actual Naga deities and beings. So I have firsthand experience now. What blows my mind, and you're going to see it again here, I'm going to play a video. This is a fictional video. So in the video, it is a dialogue between me and the Naga Lord, who I called Vritra. In reality, it turns out that I have been interacting with the Naga Lord, but he is not Vritra. That is a different Naga. This is Vasuki. So every time he calls himself Vritra, you can change it over to Vasuki. Vasuki is one of the kings of the Nagas. And as I showed you yesterday, what he showed me was all of the dimensions of the multiverse are like this onion. And every single one of those red lines you see are dimensional boundaries. And they all come together. All of the dimensions come together at the bottom in the underworld, where the Nagas live, in Patala Loka. And they also come back together again at the top, where Shiva resides, the highest point of consciousness. And the Nagas are in both of these worlds. In Patala Loka, the Nagas are actually controlling, but there, as I learned yesterday, because I was going to come on here and talk about how the Nagas control the universe, they, as I was getting ready to make the video, they energetically contacted me and said, no, that's not right. We don't control the gods. We serve the gods and we serve humans. So I'm going to share with you how it feels and looks as though you're being manipulated and deceived, when in reality, the Nagas are using their specific powers of creating illusion, dimensionary illusion, real dimensional places, and how they use that power to circumvent your resistance to the truth. And so the thing about the Nagas, that what makes them dangerous isn't that they seek to cause harm to humans in any way. Quite the opposite. They worship humans. They believe that humans have entrusted them with the responsibility to make sure that they awaken from the third dimension. But if you are in resistance to your own awakening, the only way that they can interact with you is through the illusion that you're hanging on to. And what that appears to you is though you're being manipulated and deceived. But what's happening is that you have two basic choices. You can either choose to follow the path of self-awareness and operating from your soul. Or you can choose to become more attached to the illusion of the third dimension, in which case the Nagas kick in and they say, okay, if you want to go the path of living in this hypnotic delusion and you don't realize who you are, then we will continue to pull you deeper and deeper until it becomes so painful and so intolerable that then you'll wake up. So you can either wake up now or you can wake up later. And it's going to be a painful awakening either way, because, as the gods have found, Odin himself, he had his awakening. He died to himself. He sacrificed himself to himself. And it says, screaming, he took up the mysteries. Screaming, he took up the runes, which means that it was a painful. He reached beyond his impulse to stay in the delusion, and he reached beyond it, which meant dying to himself. And it was a very painful process. But the result of that was that he got mastery of the mysteries of the universe. So the Nagas hold the mysteries of the universe, the occult science, which means hidden awareness. And this is, again, the right-hand path or the left-hand path. You go the right-hand path, you're going to follow the path of discipline. You're going to deny yourself things in the world because you're not going to get pulled into that, which, if that's the way you want to live, great. That's not the way I want to live. Or you can go the left-hand path, which is you gain power quickly, but you must awaken as quickly as you gain the power. And there are dangers on both sides. The danger of the right-hand path is you get so full of yourself because you see yourself as this, you become self-righteous and condescending, and you feel that you're above it all and you're beyond human. You see this all the time with gurus who dress in certain ways and they sit on giant couches with gold behind them, and the angels are singing whenever they walk down, and they end up being far more destructive. And the dangers of the left-hand path is getting tangled up in the power and getting tangled up in the experiences and just in 3D itself. So no matter which path you go, you're going to have to die. So the Nagas represent either awakening you through power so that you see beyond the delusion, or they will pull you deeper and deeper at your request. Because when you deny, when you resist your awakening, you are asking the Nagas to pull you deeper into physical manifested reality so that you can wake up through pain. Your own pain. They're not causing you pain. You do it to yourself. So before we get into that, this channel is about doing the work. I'm going to play you the video. It's about 15 minutes long. Before I do that, you have to understand what this channel is about. If you're just coming onto the channel and listening, I'm happy that you're here. You're welcome to be here. Subscribe, like, tell your friends about it. But in terms of getting what this channel is about, you've got to do the work. And that can start by going to the free playlists on the YouTube channel, the thunderwizard.com YouTube channel. You can do the Awakening the Immortals, for example, or the Hool Breath, or anything in the Qigong folder, Qigong, Qigong. You can also go to, and I strongly recommend this as well, go to the interdimensional meditation, the guided meditation. Just press play, lie back and follow me as I guide you through the meditation to connect with higher dimensional beings. And do the 12 steps to 5D. Now, all of these things take some kind of action on your part. Either listening to a meditation, or doing some physical energy practices, or doing the self-examination that goes with the 12 steps. And I recommend you do at least one of those every day. It takes action. So when you hear what's happening in this video, when you hear the Naga talk to me about how I've awakened and he must teach me, it's because I've spent my entire life taking actions to become awakened, including meditation and energy practices. I make these available to you for free. Now, if you want to keep me from ending up on the street or having to go work at Walmart, then you can go even higher. You can get really serious about it and get the elite practices. Go here to thunderwizard.com and subscribe. When you're done watching the video, go there and check it out and see which level you want to subscribe at. I recommend the Lightning Qigong, the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. You can unsubscribe whenever you want. If you want access to all of my video teachings, I gave these away because I thought the solar flash was going to come last month. So I just unloaded all of my teachings, easily worth $3,500 if you were to get all of them at once. Go here to 923.thunderwizard.com, which includes the most powerful moving practices there are, which will give you power over Nagas, give you power over negative beings. Nagas aren't negative, but it'll give you power over evil spirits. If you want that kind of power and you want to have the fast awakening that comes with that and you're ready for that, go here to 923.thunderwizard.com, check it out. Of course, all my books you can find at michaelwilliamdenny.com, including Interdimensional Revolution, Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth, and the most important, which is the Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. I think I'm going to sneeze in a second. No? All right, so getting back here to what we're talking about, how the Nagas awaken through deception and how we can escape the reptilian 3D hypnosis. You're right if you believe that reptilians are controlling this matrix. They're not controlling it the way that you've been taught, but if you are of the belief, and it is your experience, that reptilian beings are lording over you and taking your energy from you and forcing you to reincarnate and these kinds of things, that is your feeling, that is your experience. And so your instinct is right. This is happening. It's not happening the way you think it's happening, though. And this is one of the problems. People conflate their feelings with the truth. And you can only find out what the truth is when you do self-examination and you have critical thinking. Basically, critical thinking says that your emotions don't dictate your thoughts and your assumptions. Your assumptions and your thoughts come from a combination of honestly looking at experience as well as knowing what your emotional attachments are. If you don't have the ability, the self-awareness, then you don't have critical thinking. So it's a combination of experience and critical thinking and self-examination that allows you to see the truth. And the Nagas, the reptilians, are your best friends. They will show you the truth if you're fearless enough to look at yourself. So the Nagas, as I said, there's the Lord of the Nagas who lives in the true underworld, which is where all of the dimensions come together underneath all of the worlds. And then there's Shiva at the top. And in this onion here, that light part in the middle, you can see as the shaft of consciousness, which is Shiva, that goes through all of the dimensions and all of the worlds. What we're going to be talking about today, what I was trying to do also when I wrote this, again, this is a fictional video that I did 6 years ago, and it turns out it was, not only was it accurate, it turned out to be prophetic for me. And I had this strange feeling when I was writing it, because I had this idea of what I was going to say, but the dialogue was taking its own route. And as a writer, I've known to just go let the dialogue that's coming out of me, just let it play itself out. And it turned out that the things that this being said in the dialogue, turns out that's what was told to me by the actual Lord of the Nagas. This was prophetic. I was being told in advance what was coming. But the other thing I was trying to do is I was trying to help people understand the 9 worlds and the beings of the 9 worlds, and it was a great way to teach how all of that was. So you're going to hear the Naga talk about the 9 races, and we can still talk about that. I took some artistic license with that, but basically it's still the truth, especially the things that are taught about the Nagas and the humans. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that video for you. It's about 15 minutes long, and then I'll come back and we can talk about it some more. And if you have intelligent questions, I will take them based on this video. Don't ask me questions about what kind of underwear I wear, or what kind of vitamins I take, or ask me about what I teach, and that'll make me happy. All right, let's get into it. The number 9. I had been seeing it everywhere. Every time I looked at my phone, I saw 9s. Working at my desk, 3:33 p.m. Getting up in the morning, 8:01 a.m. Making a protein drink, 11:07 a.m. Looking at the surf report, 12:06 p.m. Going on my bike ride, 1:08 p.m. Again and again. Every time I looked at my phone, the numbers always added up to 9. 9 always makes me feel unfinished, unsettled, like there's just one more thing needed to finish it, whatever it is. I always want 9 to balance out to 10. 10 feels safe. It feels complete, masterful, fulfilled, accomplished, in control. But it is the essence of 9 to bring massive transformation. I've been told my number is 9. The number of transformation. I have always felt that there is something important I'm working toward. When I fully accomplish it, I think I will be dead. I feel healthy now, so I must have more work to do. I went to bed at 10:08 p.m. feeling uneasy and expecting something. I wasn't disappointed. After what must have been a few hours of the usual jumbled, nightly, confused dreaming where the brain analyzes the day's events, I slipped into a deeper, more vivid dream. I was walking along an empty road with a walking stick. Up ahead on the horizon was an orange glow, not unlike the color of the underworld Naga home of Vritra. People began walking toward me from out of the orange glow. They passed me with glazed, unconscious stares. They paid no attention to me. From what were they walking away? Why wasn't I going with them? Why did they appear so catatonic? I crested a hill and the mouth of a huge cave appeared. As before, I saw the orange glow of the fires of the underworld dancing on the cavern walls. I walked into the cave. Upon entering, I immediately fell straight down and blacked out. In my dream, I awoke again in Vritra's lair.
Welcome, son of Odin.
Why are they all asleep?
They're not asleep. You are awakening. They look asleep to you, but to them, you look crazed.
I don't feel crazed, I feel alive.
You are experiencing the state of Wod. You are in the state of being known as Nageshwara, Lord of the Nagas. That is why you are drawn to me instead of walking away from me. Those who avoid me, I control. Those who approach me fearlessly learn the mastery of self. You are in the state of Wod, the full awareness of the self, the full awareness of no self. Because I cannot control you in this state, you see me, and I must teach you the secrets of consciousness. Those who avoid me want to be controlled by their instincts. I am the Lord of instincts. As long as they avoid me, I control them through their instincts of self-preservation. But because you are dying to your need to control your world, I cannot control you, and therefore I must reveal to you the runes, the secrets of the cosmos. So, tell me, son of Odin, what do you want to know?
Tell me about the different beings who inhabit the multiverse.
There are 9 races of beings that inhabit the 9 dimensions of space-time. First is the water dragons who shape the material world, the children of the rainbow serpent mother who swallows and regurgitates the cosmos. The water dragons are the masters of the dream time. Second is the Nagas, the beings of light who inspire and awaken consciousness into all beings. They live in the purity of no time. The great ones, the gods, the lights of life. You see them as stars in the sky. Third are the Titans who bring definition to manifested reality. They are the rulers of self-identification. Without them, matter would not coalesce into specificity. The greater Titans are the immutable forces of the cosmos: time, space, decay, expansion, and contraction. The lesser Titans are hungry to consume consciousness. They seek to devour and dominate the creation of the Nagas. They are very dangerous, but without them, life forms would not be stimulated to protect their individuality. The lesser Titans are constantly hunting the light of consciousness. The war between the Nagas and the Titans is the stage upon which consciousness evolves. Fourth are the builders. They are the template from which the Manu evolve. They are mind without mind. The Nagas molded the builders from the ambient life force of the rainbow serpent when she vomited up the cosmos. The builders consume life force energy and create the worlds in which all beings live. They are attracted to the power of intention. Without the power of mind intention, the builders are greedy, secretive, and destructive. They seek to hoard life force energy. When summoned by the power of intention, they create everything you see. They are the lords of magic. They are the rightful servants of the Manu. Fifth are the fire dragons. The fire dragons copulated with the water dragons in the before time. It was from their violent intercourse that the cosmos erupted into being. The water dragons nourish creation and the fire dragons purify it. The fire dragons will one day destroy this age, after which the rainbow serpent will consume the ashes of the former world and vomit up a higher harmonic cosmos. Warriors like yourself, Maichtig, are vehicles of the fire dragons to propel the cosmos to the ultimate purification, leading to the creation of the higher harmonic cosmos. Sixth are the Nagas, the keepers of hidden wisdom, the masters of dreams and nightmares. I, Vritra, am the firstborn of the rainbow serpent mother and the lord of all Nagas. We recycle what the fire dragons destroy. We are the deceivers who prevent the illusion of creation from being revealed to the uninitiated. We are the Manu's best friends and the revealers of their deepest fears and the revealers of their deepest desires. We are the initiators of evolution, the lords of death that bring new life. I am your teacher, and you, son of Manu, are my master. You have instructed me to deceive you whenever you lose sight of the light of the Nagas within you. In each incarnation, when you begin to burn with the self-perpetuating light of inner awareness, the power of Wod, I must summon you to the underworld of reanimation to teach you higher and higher harmonics of your existence. When you look at me without fear, as you are right now, I must teach you the hidden truths of the illusion of material existence so that you can initiate the transformation of the cosmos and help bring about the creation of the next harmonic of awareness. Seventh are the elders, the holders of wisdom, the bringers of knowledge and peace, the lovers of the living. These are the simultaneous enemies and cohorts of the Nagas. Together with and in opposition to the Nagas, The elders bring happiness, love, camaraderie, and joy to all created beings. They bring context and sanity to limited existence within space-time. They are the lovers of material existence. You see them as nature spirits, mighty gods of the earth, and as powerful animal totems. Like the Nagas, they are true friends of the Manu. Unlike the Nagas, the elders do not bring or reveal your nightmares or fears, but instead instill peace, hope, harmony, and love, and help you to manifest your desires. Their strategy is to bring about the next harmonic of awareness by supporting this material illusion and helping you to fulfill your desires so you can release the illusion of material existence and merge with infinity. Eighth are the Wisdom Council, the Light Bearers, the Observers, the Witnesses to Evolution. They would argue that they are in fact the best friends of the Manu because they ensure that all consciousness finds the path to self-awareness. The light bearers of the doors to infinity, they are the true elders, for they, like the Manu, were once infinite beings who dwelt in limited space-time. Even the Magha, in their state of timeless perfection, marvel at the true masters who transcend even infinity. The light bearers stand at the edge of consciousness and hold open the portal to beyond infinity. They witness the countless creations and destructions of each cosmos and ensure that evolution of each being in each lifetime reaches its higher harmonic of being. Ninth are the Manu, the beings of mind, who dwell in the nexus of all of the 9 worlds. These are the beings that all other beings in the cosmos envy. The Manu are the focal point of all worlds, and the earth on which they live is the portal through which the next harmonic of evolution is achieved. The Manu are the rightful kings and queens of the cosmos who have yet to understand their true nature and their true worth. These are your people, my Ihtig, and you have charged me with revealing to you the secrets of the illusion of manifested reality so that you can guide the Manu into their next evolution.
This entire teaching of Vritra was downloaded into me instantly. In a flash, I was lit up like a Roman candle. I felt an instant expansion of my being that was both blissful and terrifying. And after receiving this condensed knowledge, I felt exhausted, and within the dream, I drifted into a deeper sleep, from which I awoke, presumably hours later, in my physical body. I opened my eyes, and for a moment I did not know who I was or what I was. I panicked, and then slowly, my earthly life memories began to switch on, one by one, like a computer being rebooted. In a few moments, I knew my name again, and I felt relief. I wrote down as much of my dream as I could translate into human words, and then, exhausted, fell back to sleep. All right, welcome back. So, a lot of really interesting things in there for me. The biggest surprise for me is that as I was writing this, I remember writing this, 6 or 7 years ago. It was a lot of work, as you could tell, putting together all the graphics. It was just more work than I was willing to put into it. But again, I've learned to just let the dialogue, I used to write movies and plays and stuff a long time ago, back in my acting days. And I've learned to let the inspiration of the characters flow, because I had enough awareness to know that something was coming through me, whether that was my own unconscious or whatever it was. But what I found really interesting was that the Naga was talking about numerous times about the higher harmonic of Earth. And that, that was hinted at, that there was going to be this higher harmonic of Earth, and that is what we were all moving towards. And I didn't really know what it meant. I let it come out of me. There was nothing wrong with it. It certainly, helped the overall idea of evolution and all that. But little did I know that that was going to become something that I would now believe as a literal thing, that we are moving to the next higher harmonic level of Earth through the ascension event, which we are involved in, and through the solar wave event, which we are in the midst of. So, I have to say that, it absolutely still to this day completely blows my mind. I don't take any of this lightly. Any of the things that I'm experiencing on a daily basis, I do not take lightly. In fact, I go, I can't believe, what reality is. It's so more fantastic than I could have ever imagined. And, again, what I found most striking about that, I wrote that 6 years ago as an attempt to try and, get more views on the channel, help people understand what all of this was really about, to help people get over their victim mentality, allow them to experience the whole Naga thing for what it really is. And the truth is I thought I was inventing it. I knew that there was mythology around these beings called Nagas. I didn't know if I took that literally or symbolically. Little did I know that I would literally be communicating directly to the Lord of the Nagas, who said those very, almost verbatim, those same things to me 6 years later. I had completely forgotten about this. To be honest, I felt it was a little over the top when I was writing it, but I wanted to make a statement, and it's not even close. It doesn't even begin to scratch the surface as to, what these beings are and what is really going on and what is happening in my life. And happening in your life as well. If you're watching this and you want to have that kind of experience, then go do the interdimensional meditation. Do CE5. Make the conscious decision to break through the dimensional barrier. Communicate with these beings. They are waiting for you. They're literally waiting for you to text them. And if you go through the proper protocol, which opens you up, it's for you, the whole interdimensional meditation and the CE5 protocol is so that you will be consciously aware of the fact that you are seeking to go beyond dimensional barriers. When you do that, they will rush in and they will help you and communicate to you and energetically empower you to the level that you are able and willing to handle it. So if you want more, ask for more. If you say, this is frightening for me, or this is strange for me, but I want to go further, they will push the boundaries as far as you're willing and able to handle it. So, I still like all this teaching. The other thing I was trying to do is I was trying to make a modern interpretation of the 9 worlds of the world tree. And I got the majority of that from the Norse tradition, which, again, if you're new to this channel, somebody wrote on here, "This is fantastic," and I'm really glad that you liked it. This has been on my channel for 6 years. This is only one of thousands of videos on my channel. I mean, there in each epoch of my channel, each year I go into, there are years when all I do is I talk about the 9 worlds and the beings of the 9 worlds. There are years that all I do is talk about energy and energy work. There are years that all I do is talk about runes and rituals and mantra. If you want to learn, put some time and effort into watching my channel, binge watch it. If you want to be directed in how to go through everything that I teach, my books are there. So if you're looking at this going, wow, this is great, there are, how many books have I written? 30 books, something like that. Put the time and effort to consume this knowledge. If all you do is come on here because you're subscribed and he's got a video and that's all you do, and you've only been here for a few months or even a year or so, you have zero knowledge of what this channel can give to you. Please take advantage of it. And if you want to be directed from beginning to end, like from the basics of shamanism to where I'm at now, which is we're off in the stratosphere with the stuff that we're doing, then when you subscribe to the 90-day challenge, you can actually go all the way back and start from the beginning. Just go to the very first video. Scroll back in time to the very first video and just start from there. This is completely here for you to use, and sadly 90% of what this channel has to offer, people don't even scratch the surface with it. That's what the Patreon site is all about. So please take advantage of that. So let's see, what else did I want to address on that? There was a lot of stuff in there, but I think you pretty much got it. I really liked the way that delivered the message, because if all I do is come on here and badmouth people's victim mentality and say there's no such thing as a reptilian conspiracy to take away your blah blah blah, which is true, then all that happens is if people are emotionally attached to their victim mentality, which means they're trying to survive, they're going in the wrong direction, they've been damaged, they're afraid, they've been life has done whatever life has done to them, and they are holding on to a belief that they believe keeps them safe, when in reality it doesn't. And they only have part of the truth, which is what is going on. The dark forces that are controlling this world, which are, by the way, humans. They're not reptilians, they're not aliens, they're humans with a tremendous amount of power, a tremendous amount of money, and they have access to a lot of secret technology, wisdom, and magic. They've been holding on to a lot of these magical systems. They don't have any spirit behind them, so it is technically black magic because they use their knowledge and their wisdom to control and manipulate. And one of the things that they do is they encourage you to have half of the truth. The whole alien thing, like right now the biggest lie that's happening is there are over 1,000 whistleblowers in the deep state military space program, as well as in the technological front. There's over 1,000 whistleblowers right now behind closed doors in Congress telling the United States elected officials that we have UFOs. We've already made them. We've been making them for over 100 years. We go faster than the speed of light, anti-grav, and that all of the abductions that are being done by humans, pretending to be aliens. And so people have half the truth. You go to a ufology conference, you're going to hear half-truths conflated together. And that's done on purpose so that you won't know what the truth is. There's people out here talking about this nonsense of the secret space program and all of that, so that you can't get a hold on what's really happening here. So somebody like me comes along and I start talking about interdimensional extraterrestrial beings, it automatically gets conflated with a bunch of other stuff. Same thing with health, same thing with medicine, same thing with politics, same thing with, all the stuff that's going on. So you're right when you feel like there are superpowers that are manipulating you and controlling you, but they're humans. And these humans know how to manipulate the truth. They know what Nagas are. They know what I've shared with you here, that Nagas are here to help you evolve by either stimulating you more deeper into the three-dimensional illusion or by awakening you to the truth. They know that. So what do? they, 3,500 years ago, they write the Bible and they create the myth of the Garden of Eden. It's not a true myth because it wasn't, like this story was channeled, even though I thought I was writing something. These people consciously took myths that existed and distorted them and took half-truths and then created heaven and hell, good and evil, the devil, and the serpent is the deceiver and all of that, even though, they called the devil the Lucifer, the bringer of light. They give you half-truths. And I've heard this, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but it certainly is a symptom of people who have narcissistic personality disorder. Evil serial killers, they always want people to know what they're doing. So at some point, they can't help but tell you what they're doing. They try and do it and not get caught, but they always end up they always end up getting caught because they want somebody to know it was me that did it. And I've heard it numerous times that the dark forces will tell you ahead of time what they're going to do and then pretend, say, like, I can't say that on this channel, but there was a lot of practice runs going into all the stuff that happened, all the past 3 years having to do with there was practice runs, and they literally showed us what they were going to do. But they were pretending like, oh, we're preparing. They have to tell you what's going on, and then they backtrack and they conflate it. And they do that because they think if they bring the truth out, then they're free, karmically free, which of course isn't true. But that's a very narcissistic thing. A narcissist, when they discard you, will go, you knew what this was all along. You're the one that wanted this. And there's truth to that also. So if we're going to wake up, we really have to wake up. And I'm going to demonstrate this. I appreciate somebody left an honest feeling. So when I interact on the live stream, which I'm trying to figure out if I want to do that, you saw me yesterday, I got annoyed. I get annoyed when people brag. I don't want to listen to you brag. I don't want to listen to your intellect. I want to hear two things only from you. I want to hear an honest question. An honest question means I don't know the answer to this. So if you ask a question and then 2 sentences later answer it, it's not a question. You're showing off. And that's going to annoy me. Not because I don't care. If you want to show off on your own channel, I do it on mine all the time, go right ahead. I want to help. If you don't need my help, don't ask. Don't waste all of our time. So I want an honest question because I want to help you learn and grow and evolve, and if I can do that, I will. The other thing I want is I want your feelings. A feeling is that I'm scared, I'm angry, I'm happy, I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, I'm blown away, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. Those are feelings. And what happens a lot of the time is people will write down an experience and they'll call it a feeling, and it's not a feeling. It's great, your experiences are great, you got to work from them, but the reason I want you to operate from your feelings isn't because your feelings are right. Your feelings are wrong much of the time. But in order to know whether or not you are emotionally attached to the third dimension, you have to know your feelings. And if you're attached to the delusion of the third dimension, you will have a negative feeling. You will be angry. You will be confused. You will be frustrated. You will be scared. These are feelings that come from attaching to the third dimension. And if you're not aware of it, then you turn into somebody that's a victim, has a victim mentality, or you end up being self-righteous or controlling or judgmental. It gets you into trouble. So if you get past the feelings that are used as armor, like anger, When you get behind the anger, you will find some pain. You will find some pain and some victim mentality. That's why I want your feelings. So Oscar, I appreciate you sharing your experience, but there's no feelings in there. And that's what I want to hear from you. I want to hear your feelings. You know, you're free. If you want to write, if people want to write stuff on the chat, you know, what their experience is, I'm not going to monitor that anymore. But I want, if you want to interact with me and get me to help you, those are the two things. Ask questions based on what I teach, honest questions, and share your feelings. Because these are the kinds of things, you know, this is what an apprenticeship is. The other thing is, people, it's going to be tough to do this on your own. No matter how smart you are, you need to be in the cauldron of having somebody, you know, who's going to, you know, two knives sharpen themselves. And so it's important that you have something. You have a mentor, a teacher, a group. So this is why it's best to work directly with me. If you want to do that, you can go to career.thunderwizard.com, scroll to the bottom, and get a single session with me. If you want to apprentice with me, you go to thunderwizard.com and you subscribe at the apprenticeship level. Now, unfortunately for me, it seems the vast majority of people who come onto my channel are broke. So it's challenging for me to pay the bills, but you know, that's the best way to learn from me. I'm not the only game in town. Have somebody, but definitely don't try and do it on your own. It's almost guaranteed you'll be a failure. It's like trying to be your own lawyer in court. It's almost guaranteed you're going to fail. It's like trying to train yourself, you know, to be a heavyweight boxer. It's almost guaranteed you're going to fail. You need to have somebody else in your life, another human being who you can bounce things off of and learn from. All right, let's see if there's anything else here that I want to respond to. Thank you, by the way, for showing up. Ariel subscribed and sharing an experience and not saying it's a feeling, so I'm not going to analyze it that way. But the more I practice, the more my 3D self fights my 5D. I had almost 6 years clean until recently. I do the practices every day, and yet I fell backwards. And I'm willing to bet you're doing it alone. So the reason why you fell backwards, meaning you've been sober, I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're an addict. I don't know if you've been to some kind of 12-step group, which is, if you really are an addict, you need to be in one of those 12-step groups. You can't get yourself sober by yourself if in fact you are addicted, whether that be drugs or alcohol or whatever. So the reason why you slipped was because the feelings that have been unresolved came to the surface, and you chose to listen to your impulse so that you could get away from the feelings. Again, this is all about feelings. This is why it's good to have a therapist, a teacher, a mentor, because you're guaranteed, as we get closer to the shift, you are guaranteed to have more things come up. So people really have to get over this idea of being their own guru. Really have to get over that. I understand it, but that is your resistance to your own growth telling you to just stay isolated. Do it by yourself. Watching my videos are great, but only watching my videos isn't going to do it. I mean, if I were a cult leader, I would say, no, just watch my videos and I'll save you. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know anybody that's got more understanding and has more access to this stuff than I do. And I'm here to tell you, I am not just listening to me talk isn't going to do it. Got to make yourself vulnerable. And there's more than plenty of places to go. So you don't have any excuse now, Ariel. Go get yourself into a 12-step meeting, get a sponsor, work the steps. I am only telling you to do what I do. If I'm your teacher and you're learning from me and I'm doing it, then it's good enough for you. If you're my student and you think you know better than me and you don't have to do the same things I do, then we got a mismatch, you know, in terms of understanding here. All right, what else? All right, I don't see anything else here. People throwing out their opinions, which is perfectly fine. All right, so that's it, my friends. Look, doing the work is what's going to heal you. Being consistent. So, discipline has here's what discipline does. The reason why, whatever it is that's wrong about our lives, whatever it is we don't like about our lives, whether that be a big thing like addiction, or whether that just be I'm lazy and I don't want to get anything done, or I'm just not as happy as I want to be, whatever on the scale it is, big or small, it comes from our programmed response to life. The character that you're playing is a programmed response. You're an angry person, that's a programmed response. You have a victim mentality, that's a programmed response. So the whole point of discipline is to break up that programming. You don't want to be controlled by the deep state, then you better get disciplined. And the discipline is doing, this is where doing the practices every single day. Doing the practices every single day. If you're working the steps, you work the steps every day. You do something towards your recovery every single day. And it has nothing to do with how you feel. And ironically, at the same time, you have to be aware of all of your feelings. You have to accept and have them without needing to respond to them. If somebody, let's say if somebody is, using the same example, somebody is on the path of sobriety, however they get there, if all of a sudden one day they slip, it's because they chose to respond to an old feeling. They chose to respond to an old impulse. That's it. So the feeling and the impulse, instead of acting on it, which is actually an act of self-deletion. So just, anybody out there, anytime that you don't like the way you feel and you pick up a beer, anytime you don't like the way you feel, you pick up a joint, anytime you don't like the way you feel, you go and watch porn for an hour, you go gamble for an hour. Anytime that you take those kinds of actions because you're having an intense feeling, that is actually self-deletion. Because what's happening to you is that the little infant inside of you is crying for love and attention. And you wouldn't do that. If your 4-year-old son or daughter came to you and was crying or was angry, you would say, "What is wrong? What's going on? Come here." And you'd give them a hug if you're a good parent. You'd give them a hug, you'd let them cry, you'd talk to them and you'd say, "It's okay to be afraid. Let's go look in the closet and see what's there. Don't worry about it. We all get afraid." So whenever you act contrary to try and stuff the feelings down because you don't want to feel something, or you've trained yourself to have this impulse to go and I need to go have a drink now, I need to go smoke a cigarette, I need to go, whatever it is, that is you basically beating the crap out of your 4-year-old self. It's an act of self-deletion. It's an act of self-abuse. You think you're doing it to make yourself feel better, but in reality what you're trying to do is you're trying to tell that little kid, "I'll give you something to cry about. You better wipe that frown off your face. I'll give you something to cry about." And you're trying to bully yourself into submission. And that isn't going to work. And the most difficult part of all of this is that it is an actual thing that you may not have the conscious ability to stop yourself. That's why it's called addiction. You can't stop. No amount of thinking will keep you from acting on that addiction. And that is when you need higher dimensional energy. And this is what the 12 steps have always been about. The 12 steps is the most powerful way to get access to higher dimensional energy, which will give you the ability to have all of your feelings, to tolerate them, and to take contrary action towards your empowerment and the empowerment of others. And this is where discipline comes in. discipline in doing spiritual practices is helpful. So anyway, there's my little spiel for today. All right. Is that it? I don't got anything else here, so we're done. Thank you, my friends, for showing up. Thank you to all those who shared and talked. My apologies if anything I've said has been hurtful or offensive. You know that what's coming from my heart is the only desire I have is to be as helpful as I possibly can. And I'm trying to learn how to be more and more nurturing as I do that. So I appreciate you suffering through my learning curve as well. Please take advantage of the free practices. And if you've been around for a while and you know this stuff works, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Challenge and also take a look at 923.thunderwizard.com. I've never taken donations. You know, I want to give you something in exchange for your hard-earned cash. And by doing that, not only do you grow, but I get to keep the lights on. So everybody wins. All right, that's it. You know all the links, the books, etc., etc. If the Flash don't come, or if the Starship Enterprise doesn't beam me up, I will see you guys all very soon. Please take very good care of yourselves.